In my last video, I talked about some of Terraria's worst weapons, and today I'm going to be talking about some of Terraria's weirdest and items you probably might have forgotten about. Now, a familiar weapon that we talked about last time was the copper short sword, but something that we always forget about is there is actually a copper broadsword. Literally like no difference in damage. If I get this, what, 50, 60... Actually, no, really. The broadsword is a lot better, but the reason you wouldn't have seen the broadsword is because you always start off with the short sword, unfortunately. Here's a weapon that you probably never heard of, and I doubt that anyone's actually really heard of. I use it sometimes, not a lot though. Like, I don't know how I even found it. It's an old one army's weapon dropped by the ogre with only about 10% chance of dropping, and it's the Tome of Infinite God, wait, what's it? Tome of Infinite Wisdom. Yep. Now, it has two phases. If you left click, you get these toenails that shoot out of it. And you can also, if you right click, you get a tornado, which is pretty cool. With the toenail. If I'm to shoot the mannequins with the toenails, DPS, yep, it's not that great. Especially for a mana weapon. And if I do use the tornado though, our DPS goes up by a ridiculous amount. Like, if we hold it, that's 2,000, 2,300. 2,300 seems to be around the max of it. So that is really good, but the only problem is, when shooting them, they have to touch the ground. So it's not going to be a great weapon normally for your combat, and will probably be absolutely useless for any boss fight. Now for an absolutely hilarious one that you've probably forgotten about, and if you're unlucky enough not to get one ever in your playthrough, I'm sorry man, but it's the unicorn on a stick. It does literally nothing but this. It's just a unicorn on a stick. Now you're probably wondering why it's absolutely dark, and it's because I'm in a cave. Because there's another equip that I personally didn't even know existed until pretty recently. It's the ultra bright helmet, and it's pretty much just the Midas helmet, but on steroids. It's just way more brighter. Cool. But pretty much you're never going to be using this item, like, ever. Now, banners are normally an item that we do find pretty useful for the mobs that spawn out all the time and everything, but what about the mobs that don't spawn out a lot? Like a Crimson Axe. I didn't even know these things dropped banners because you barely even see them in the playthrough. The banner actually looks really cool. But to kill about 50 of these, it's going to take a lot of grinding. Also, did you know that Mothra and the Pirate Captain also drop banners? I completely forget about this all the time because these are like, they're pretty much mini bosses for their events, you know what I'm saying? Also a banner that probably no one has ever seen before. It's the sea snail banner. Sea snails are one of the rarest mobs in all of Terraria. You'll barely ever see any of them, mainly because you're never going to be at the beach. It's a very bland, useless biome. And that sea snail is they just don't spawn out. Like, it's very rare to find them. So to kill 50 of them as well, that's pretty damn hard. Also, while on the topic of banners, why don't we keep going in with decorations such as bookcases and beds, and there's obviously chairs and stuff as well. I just didn't make any, it doesn't matter. But I had no idea you could even make decorations out of this. I've always used it for like armor and stuff, so it's kind of confusing, but at the same time, they look alright. I mean, they're pretty much all just identical to each other, and Stardust just looks like gold. Another one is also the announcement box. To be honest with you, I still don't know how you use this. Help me. What's it meant to do? Is it meant to like, put it in the chat? No? Okay, please comment down below if you know how this works. Now, one of the more fun sides of Terraria is obviously the golf cart. Oh, it does damage! I forgot about that! So obviously you obtain it from the golfer. It can jump pretty damn high, but that's really all you're going to get out of it. It's just some height and speed. Obviously you can't fly in it, but still pretty cool funny mount. Now a pretty useless fact that probably a lot of people don't know is that the Blood Shark mount actually negates like all full damage. So if I go like all the way up to the top of the world, switch my thing, put the Sharkman on, no matter what, how high I am, I will always take 1 damage. It's taking a long time. I didn't even take any damage. What the? I've got God mode on, damn it. Okay, take 2. 1 damage, no matter what. So if you are using a no-wing layout, which would make you absolutely crazy, but you could use this to negate all your damage. Hope you like this video, like and subscribe. Ciao, ciao.